gentlemen, Is and Foes, welcome to the Culture Casino! Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, and welcome, or morning, or afternoon, evening, wherever it is, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us right now. I have to remember that. For me, it's morning. For everybody else, who knows? Anyway, I'm having some audio issues today, so while we're going, I'm going to try to fix some of that as we move along here through today's show. So I want to say hello to everybody because we have a lot of people joining us already this morning. Let's take a look at everybody who is all here. All right. We know for sure that the Culture Boss is here and will probably also be in the chat here, so that'll be fun. Keith Howard joined us early. Keith, thanks for being here. Lord Toth. We've got Nano Reaper. Nano's here. We've got the Memes of Destruction. Guys, let me tell you something really cool. Memes of Destruction released a video today about dueling, or should we bring back dueling? It's pretty interesting. You should check that out over on his channel. I know this is, I'm like going, dude, you're out there, but all right, I'm with you. So let's see. Oh, and the author Stephen Walton's here, so I don't know why I just highlighted him, but whatever. M. Dastardly, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Let's get ready to rumble. Absolutely, I love that. You bet. Let's see who else we got. Oh, as I said, there's the Culture Boss, right on time. How's it going? Mirasphere, you're here. Wow, everybody who's supposed to be on the panel said hi. So hi. Accidental Tourist is here. Hello. Machiny90, one of the best dudes on the internet, and my mod. What a handsome young man. Handsome young man. Great artist. Really nice guy. You guys should check out his channel, his Teespring store, his Instagram. He's got a bunch of stuff. I'm sure he'll promote that like you wouldn't believe. Hey, Tim. Open Airlock Policy, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you being here. Tim's building his channel, and he's doing a great job. You can find him on the Geek Blend, it seems like, every night right now. Jeff's doing a major push over there on the Geek Blend channel for basically Halloween. So if you need something to do in the evenings, need a distraction, something fun, you want to avoid the regular tube, the mainstream media, Jeff's a good place to go in the evenings if that's your jam. Actually, you know what? Our buddy Raging Rhino hangs out over there all the time, too. Raging is awesome. His numbers are coming up, guys. He eclipsed 700. He's on his way to 1,000. Let's try to help him out as well. According to Christy, hello, Christy, and how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm not sure I'm going to say what you said there, but thanks for joining us today. Judicon is here. All right. I hope we have a great show. We're working on it. Maybe at some point. Maybe my audio will get better. Is my audio still bad, guys? Somebody say yes.
Terrible.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right.
We can still understand you, though.
Okay, good. Lorena Creole is here, the Creole Queen. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. She's going to be having a good show later on today. Welcome to Florida Stream. Is always a lot of fun. You can catch that on her channel.
107 away from hitting 1,000, guys. So if you haven't checked out her channel, please sub to Lorena. Go check out her channel. She's got great content over there. Great live stream.
Yep, and she's awesome and funny and smart. We've got Diablo Dame. Hello. Tina, thanks for being here, Tina. One of the best supporters we've got in the community. Thanks for showing up. We've got Kip Ellis. Hey, Kip. Good to see you. Man, lots of people showing up today. Clobbering Times, got Parrot Head. Look at that. Everybody, the regulars are all here. Thanks, guys. I really do appreciate all of your support. Jack of all casuals. Hail. Philip Demick. Link her channel, please. Yeah, Makini will get on top of all those channels. I'm sure if Makini's out there, please get on top of all those channels. Makini, I can't do it. I got to fix my audio. And like I said, we have Clobbering Times and the one and only Wookiee Supremacy. Hey, Wook. All right, so let's get started right now. We're going to shoot right away into an article about Actually, I'm going to switch it up and have author Stephen Walton read this so that Mirasphere doesn't have to. But I want Mirasphere to cover this along with Stephen. So here we go. Microsoft's about to I don't know, roll out the red carpet for GameStop. I don't know. Hey, let's go ahead and get into the article, Stephen. Let's see what we've got. All right, bud?
Absolutely. If one of the other mods in the chat could put out Lorena's link for it, I'd appreciate that. 13 things to know about the GameStop-Microsoft deal. GameStop and Microsoft have signed a deal as the two are working together. Here's what to know about partnership between the two companies. The GameStop-Microsoft deal means several upgrades are coming to GME locations. That includes updating its services to make use of Microsoft's Dynamic 365 for back-end purposes. This should allow employees to have greater understanding of GameStop systems and provide them with insights as well. Another part of this multi-year deal has GameStop employees receiving a new Microsoft Surface devices to use at work. These devices will give them access to a wide variety of data that can assist them in helping customers. In addition to this, GME stores will also gain access to Microsoft's 365 and Microsoft Teams. These new tools should allow employees to more easily communicate and collaborate with one another. Oh, man. The GameStop Microsoft deal also includes a new offering for the video game retailer. GameStop will now be carrying the Xbox All Access bundle. This offering includes the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X, as well as 24 months of Xbox Pass Unlimited. Instead of paying for all this up front, customers pay off the purchase with monthly payments. Those payments come to $24.99 for the Xbox Series S version and $34.99 a month for the Xbox Series X offer. The idea here is that both GameStop and Microsoft will benefit by bringing more people into the Xbox ecosystem. This is a play against PlayStation, I think, is what this is. And I think it may help save these stores because a lot of the media, a lot of the gaming media that we get now is digital, just along with movies and everything else. So this is actually good. This might help keep GameStop alive, at least a little longer than before, because there's been a lot of talk in the last several years about whether or not GameStop would survive, or older game retailers of physical media. I don't know. What do you think, Mayorsphere?
Well, I think it's going to turn a lot of GameStops to look like, I don't know. Have you ever been inside like one of those like a phone company, like AT&T shop? Yeah. And they have like the guys running around with the tablets and they're helping out people. This is what it sounds like it's going to turn into. They're going to have the games, and it's going to be a bunch of dudes just running around getting you to sign up for stuff. So, yeah, GameStop is pretty much almost dead in most places because they just are everybody's going digital. Their big thing was you could sell back to them. But the problem with GameStop, like a lot of gamers know, is that they give you crap refunds.
Oh, pennies on the dollar.
I know. You go in there with a brand new game, never even opened. They're like, we'll give you $20 for it. You're like, dude, it's not been open. It's $59. And they're like, no, we'll give you $20. And it's like, no.
Well, I mean, but it also gives people the chance that have a big library of games that want to get rid of. Some of them who don't have the money to necessarily buy a new game, at least get some of the money taken off of a new game with, and that part of it, I understand where they're coming from. You're right. You only get like $2 for a $40 game. Sometimes it's pretty awful, but at the same time, it keeps the gaming community alive. It keeps game trades alive and the availability for people to try out games they wouldn't necessarily been able to get when they first came out.
Yeah, and if you all remember Game Informer magazine, I grew up on Game Informer. Every month I get a new one. I couldn't wait to see what games are going to come in it. That was my entire world of how to know what was coming out. Nowadays, it's kind of not as great as it used to be. Now they email me one, and it's like, it's not the same. I used to collect them, and now I don't have them anymore. So it's kind of, I don't know.
You grew up Mayorsphere?
Yeah, I was born like this.
I mean, a lot of the information that I get comes off of websites anyway. At this point, I mean,
Right. Well, nobody picks those magazines up anyway. I mean, one of the things they started to offer about 2 years ago or 3 years ago now, I think, was the digital option on the Game Informer, because when you buy their little game access thing or whatever to keep your points, which are veritably useless. But and then I was like, you know what? Stop sending me the magazine because I just throw them away. I don't even. They're like 10 articles. I hardly pick them up. So I hope my voice is better now. Do I sound better?
Yeah,
yes. Much better.
Okay.
All right. So how far are we into this, Steven? Are we getting there?
Oh, I just went through some of the bullet points. That was it.
Okay. All right. Cool. I mean, if there's more to this, I would like to know it. And I want to say Memes is 100% right. Real estate investment across the country is going to go bananas once we're through, whatever this thing was that we've been dealing with, which, believe it or not, guys, by the end of this show today, we are going to talk about something that I would normally never talk about on this show. It's not necessarily politics, but it's it's related to things that are happening in the world that are not pop culture. So just be prepared. That's at the end of the show, so you'll have a chance to dip out. But
Are we talking about your hair?
No. Although look, it's really good today. So anyway, no. Look, but I think Memes is right, and whoever you saw that on, whatever channel you saw that on, I think that's going to be accurate. Commercial real estate's going to go bonkers. So just be if you're going to get involved in something, try to catch on the way up commercial investment companies as an investment avenue for you in the future.
I saw a thing that said it was up 44% since this announcement. So that's
the
pretty
GME
good.
stock was down 3.8, but the MSFT was up 2% as of Friday afternoon.
Yeah, and I think that this is kind of a good thing. I mean, Ord's board over on his channel did a quick video on this and kind of broke this all down. I have a feeling that offering like these types of things, like bringing the Surface back and stuff like that, think about this. I mean, they're giving you like their arcade version of the Xbox thing. What do you call that? Xbox Command or whatever. They're giving you that on a Surface that you can, it's a little more accessible to most people. So, and yeah, I think we probably are looking at the new Taco Bell KFC. What do you think, guys? I mean, you guys kind of described a mobile store, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm actually rather happy that this is going to help GameStop survive. There's a lot of employees. Right. It's probably going to help expand the company where it has been contracting and losing money for several years now. So I'm actually happy for those employees. The people are going to still have their jobs. There's been a lot of worry about that from the GameStop company for, like I said, a couple of years now. That aspect of it I do appreciate. I also think this is a very good move for Microsoft, Xbox, to challenge PlayStation. I'm sure they're going to sell PlayStation games and so forth, but you're going to see a much more.
That's what I was thinking. Is if they're going to still sell Nintendo and.
Yeah, I totally believe they will, but I think they're going to be an emphasis on Xbox deals and advertising in these stores, where a lot of gamers do traverse these stores.
Yeah, well, think about it. I mean, I know AFK is a gamer. I know that for sure because AFK is a away from keyboard thing that you use when you're gaming. AFK, what do you think? Do you think this is a boon for GameStop? Do you think this will save them and in turn save a bunch of jobs?
No, honestly, like at least for me, like when I heard that, to me, I looked at it like this is basically Microsoft dipping its toes. Because it knows that GameStop needs it. And so like they basically offered this to them and they're testing the waters to see how it helps GameStop. And I feel like in the end, they could totally buy GameStop out. Like there's nothing that would prevent them from doing that. Because I feel like if they let go of GameStop will fall on its face. So it's kind of it's up to them.
Absolutely, AFK. I mean, they're in a weakened position, and I think you're right about that. They're going to be testing waters with this, and maybe these chain of stores will eventually become Xbox exclusive type gaming stores,
like a gaming lounge, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe they could do that, or they buy them out, just knock out PlayStation, and say, "Hey, this is Xbox gaming lounge. Come here. We got couches, we got TVs. You can just sit down, play, for so much money and." Whatever. I know, like
kind of like their version of Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, that concept has always been an interesting concept to me. Way back in the days of like laser tag arenas and stuff, I thought that those lobbies could be a lot more to people, than just that. Well,
if you think about it, Microsoft also has PC games, so they could literally open their own internet cafe.
Yeah,
that is something my brother has been dreaming of forever, and that's what he wants to do. So
it makes a lot of sense, and if you look at it, I think that's right. And I think AFK Bart hit it on the head. So I think we're all right. And in all honesty, I think that the investment in GameStop is kind of them dipping their toe in the water. I think Ord's board's video was actually that. Man, that's hard to say. Try to say that 3 times fast.
Board's video.
Yeah. Don't tell him I said. Well, actually, everybody's going to tell him I said that when I'm playing games over on his channel tonight. So that's going to be out of control. But what do we got? If they're closed, why bash in their windows? Yeah, I don't know. Why were we doing that? Those poor GameStop stores. Then think about how much glass they had to replace, plus those metal barriers. What a crazy thing.
That would be an upside to making everything digital. You come bust down the windows and can't find anything.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got we've got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff they could do with it. Anyway, I digress. I just think it's a good plan, and I hope it works out because not just for employment, but for everything else. So we had a few more people join us. Hey, Happy Dinosaur, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. We've got. I saw some other people show up. I think Roof Korean's here. We waved at Curtis when Curtis was talking about the Surface. Let's see. We've got. A lot of people. Oh, Ironcaster's here. Yeah, Game Informer and Nintendo Power. Do you remember that magazine? Nintendo Power. It was awesome. Yeah. Team Game Pro. That makes sense. That makes sense. Camelot talks about all the BS GameStop has been doing. Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. I really will. Oh, yeah, I did not see that Che's here. That's cool. Hello, Soul Assassin. Game Informer and G4 were dope back in the day. Yeah, you used to be able to do that. The internet ruins everything. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. Oh, wait. Back in my day, gaming magazines just served as drink coasters. I just read digital instead. Well, they gave you that option. That was the one thing that they were doing. So, and it sounds like I'm talking clear. So that makes me pretty happy. Mm-hmm. So, the best part of GameStop is waiting until the kids are at school and fencing their game collections. Okay. I guess that's a good way to solve that problem. Hello, the Gay Rascal. Good to see you. Edgy Casino. Yeah, I don't know about that. But like I said, I think, and I was right. There we go. Roof Korean. Friends cut their hair. That's correct. That's correct.
I have to give it to GameStop because when I did a bunch of gaming, I didn't do the cash back because they did store credit in full. So like I was never complaining about that because I was like, okay, I'll just come by and get another game. So
you never had a bad experience in the GameStop. Usually the people in there that I meet, kind of cool. I can sit there and talk about games. Everybody in there that works there is motivated to get you the game that you want or to try to figure out which game you want. I feel bad for certain parties that I know that are, GameStop managers that are actually working or that are actually in our community. And they're constantly suffering with some really weird and strange things.
Yeah, every time I've been to GameStop, though, everybody there has a good culture. It's a good company culture.
Oh, it is, man. Yeah.
It's a gamer. They give you, their... I've never gotten a biased opinion from anybody working there. I've either gotten like, well, if you like this type of game, you're really going to like this. I played it and so forth. So, like I said, I've never had a bad interaction at GameStop. So I'm glad.
Yeah, those videos, I think those videos are the things that throw everybody off because you see the video of the customer that flips out because they're not getting what they perceive they are supposed to get for service.
The GameStop,
and yeah. And it's not GameStop's fault. I mean, or even their company policy's fault. It's just the way they have to do business in order to survive. So, but I think we're about ready to move on here real quick. We'll check out some more chat, and then we will get fired into the next thing, which, of course, is going to be more pop culture-y, and then we're going to get into some weird news stuff that I never, ever cover here, at least not on my channel. So, because I think it's interesting, I think not enough people have this information, and so we will get there, and that'll probably take up the balance of what we have to talk about. Hopefully Wes is here by then, because it's going to be right in his wheelhouse. All right. Look at everybody who's showing up, guys. I really appreciate you all stopping by. You're flipping awesome. I love you.
Hell yeah.
I love you. Steven's got the next link, so I think he's bringing it up right now, and we are good to go. So right now we're going to walk into a weird story that I'm not sure has a lot of legs. Although right now, if you want to get fairly accurate information over the weird stuff that's happening in regards to the Batman being filmed and delayed and filmed and delayed and everything else, Mr. H Reviews, who's lives over in the UK and very close to where several of the location sites were, actually has some insight, and somebody who's actually working on the production, so actually knows a lot of things. And so one of his videos yesterday kind of broke down some other stuff from a different point of view that maybe corroborated with some of what Doomcock said, but then said that went contrary to it as well. There definitely were delays. I mean, and definitely storm related amongst other things. So he's also, that video is an excellent one to check out as well. So if you get that chance, check that out. And thank you, Culture Boss. I appreciate that. Anyway, we're going to move on because that's the subject that we want to talk about. Recently, this article was released. Stephen?
All right. Comic book news. Robert Pattinson fakes coronavirus. The Batman in trouble. This is by Matt McGloin. Oh, God, we love Matt McGloin, don't we? All right. Two sources have come out and stated that there are big problems surrounding the Batman, with claims that Robert Pattinson may have faked the coronavirus and that the actor is butting heads with director Matt Reeves, which is causing massive issues with production. Doomcock, an Overlord DVD YouTube channel, was the first to claim that the Batman movie is in deep trouble, with the Midnight's Edge YouTube channel confirming Doomcock's information through UK director and writer Gary J. Tunnicliffe, who has worked on movies including X-Men Origins Wolverine, Blade, and who directed the recent Hellraiser Judgment movie. The gist of the claims of the problems and trouble that has to do with Robert Pattinson not wanting to work out, which has led to a big conflict with director Matt Reeves. Reeves feels the stuntmen used for filming will look a lot bigger than Pattinson, who is supposed to work out but has chosen not to. Regarding Robert Pattinson and the coronavirus, it is claimed to be a cover story to cover that Reeves shut down production in order to give Pattinson time to work out, who refused yet again, with it further claimed Reeves now wants the Batman over and done with ASAP. The notion of a Hollywood trades providing a cover story for the studios is nothing new, as confirmed by Jason Momoa and Ray Fisher. It's also said stricter UK COVID protocols may cause further delays in filming. Warner Brothers recently gave Dune the October 1st, 2021 release date held by the Batman and pushed the Batman to March 4th, 2022, which further suggests problems with production. The Batman production troubles, coronavirus a lie. The Batman has also been known to be a troubled production, says Doomcock. There have been multiple shutdowns, allegations of coronavirus infections on set, whispers of problems with Robert Pattinson's attitude. In short, the production of this film has been an absolute disaster. The Batman is in deep crap and may even be delayed with another forced shutdown. Doomcock explains the recent lockdown gave Pattinson the opportunity to get in shape, but Pattinson chose not to, and the sources filled him that the claims that Robert Pattinson had the coronavirus was a lie. Many sources allege that this was a lie, that Robert Pattinson being sick was a load of BS, a cover story to hide the real reason Matt Reeves wanted to shut the production down, says Doomcock. When Pattinson showed up for the first day of shooting, the director took one look at him and lost his crap. Pattinson was supposed to be working out during the lockdown delay. True to his tweet on May 12th, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do shit. So can I say crap or shit? Doesn't matter if I say the S word. No, Cole.
I don't. We're 20 minutes in. You're safe. You can say that.
All right. Yeah. I wasn't sure. I didn't know if this was a family friendly.
I won't, but you can. Oh, I'm family friendly. I know you're not.
Yeah, well, the directors then decided to shut down the production, and he gave Pattinson 4 weeks to go work out and at least get toned. Obviously, if Batman is going to be fighting criminals, he has to be, at the very least, fit. And Pattinson looked more like a junkie than a guy that rounds them up. Hail, wow. Lord Doomcock. Regarding director Matt Reeves, Doomcock sources say that Pattinson recently returned to the set where it was obvious he didn't work out and that Reeves wasn't at all happy. Cut to October 1st, says Doomcock, what his sources told him. We got some info last night. Pattinson is back, and during his absence, he still refused to work out. The director was throw up his hands and was just going with it. The two stunt doubles are so much bigger than Pattinson that's going to be no doubt that when he is not in the suit as Bruce Wayne, he looks like a stick. This could be a one and done movie. Pattinson is a pain to work with. He whines about the suit. It's hot, it's tight, etc. At this point, the director just wants to get the movie done and move on. I'd also like to mention and give a shout out to our good friend Script Doctor. Please check out Script Doctor PhD at YouTube and on Twitter. That he knows people that he knows of Matt Reeves. He works in the industry itself, and he says that this just sounds out of character for him to be so frustrated and act like this. Doomcock continues. So, according to this source, someone with direct knowledge of the production, Pattinson has ground director Matt Reeves down. Pattinson looks ridiculous in the role. The stuntmen are much bigger than he is, and it looks like Batman is going to grow and shrink throughout the movie. Reeves knows that this is a problem, but apparently he just wants to get this albatross of a movie off his neck if the rumors are true. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want to stop and discuss?
Well, let's go ahead, and this is a good place to stop and discuss. Okay. So the Gay Rascal made a point at the beginning. This will be a good jumping off point. This movie may be in trouble, but the franchise would be better off without Pattinson. There are a lot of people who think that. It seems to be that now includes Matt Reeves. So, do you think it's true? That Matt Reeves was saddled with Pattinson? He wasn't his pick. Because we've heard that now multiple times.
Probably.
What do you think? I know AFK Bard follows Twinkly Batman. So what do you think, AFK?
Well, I mean, honestly, whenever they have cast Batman, there's been like a little bit of pushback, with some fans. But like, honestly, I feel like the initial hit for like everybody was just like, this isn't a good fit, period. And as far as like going back and like trying to do like a origin story, well, not even origin, because it's supposed to take place like a year or a year and a half or whatever into it. It's just like,
right, it's like year one Batman.
He's like a new Batman. He still hasn't, completely got into his role,
right,
but he's still been there a little while.
And it's just like, it's unbelievable for anyone to look at his physique prior to and to believe that he can bulk up like that. There are some people that can't bulk up, especially that fast. And it's just like, whoever looked at him and cast him either thought that they could fix everything in post. I don't know, like a reversal of Captain America, or, like, I don't know. It was a poor casting decision. And if he didn't want it, I don't blame him. If he did want it, I do blame him. So
yeah,
my question is if the stunt devils look so much better as a Batman, why not just like, hey, let's save some money and make the stunt devil Bruce Wayne?
Yeah,
and just get rid of Patterson.
Yeah,
just be like, okay, you're gone. Bye.
But some of these people have acting chops. That's the thing. As a stunt person, you probably have some acting chops. That's one of the ways you get some of the roles. Like, you might have a line in an elevator as a stuntman before somebody punches you in the throat, right? But so it's not like you've never been in front of the camera before. I mean, you get your butt kicked in front of the camera on a regular basis, And they're really brilliant people. If you've ever worked with one or talked to one or been on the set with one, many of them are ridiculously smart and well informed and not just about their body, but everything else. And they know just as many lines as the actors in many cases because they have to act against them, And so, but the Gay Rascal makes a good point. Oh, do a Batman Hulk crossover so he can grow and shrink.
Oh, dear God. I just don't know. The only place I've ever seen Patterson is in Twilight. I despise Twilight. Every piece of fiber of my being. So
really,
it was terrible.
You're not Team Jacob.
I saw Tenet.
That movie.
Team Jacob.
Hang on, let AFK finish. Come on, guys.
I was just gonna say I was in the same boat. I mean, originally, he was Cedric Diggory first for me. Then he was the Twilight guy. But I would have believed it. But then I did see Tenet this last week, and I believe that he's a great actor as far as conveying his emotions and being a personality. However, that does not change the physical aspect of it at all. It's just like he just can't brood. Like his brooding is the Twilight brooding.
He looks like a goth guy. He looks like he belongs in like a goth, skinny goth brooding, dark.
I don't say goth, emo.
That's better. Yeah, thank you. Not goth.
Yeah, don't insult the goths.
It's hard on the goths.
I apologize. So all goths.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Pattinson in other roles. I think that he's a decent actor. I didn't necessarily like the Twilight series. I did like him as Cedric Diggory. But for what Twilight was, I was with a woman who liked that series, so I've seen them all.
My wife,
and there were parts. There were parts of the series that were okay, but overall, I didn't enjoy it. But I have seen him in other roles since then, and I think you're right. I don't see him as a Batman, but I was willing to give him a chance to do it. If these rumors are true, it's going to be a dumpster fire, and I'm going to enjoy it. Batman's my favorite character in the DC universe, and I don't know. When he came out with the GQ article about I'm not going to work out to be a superhero, I was like, that's when I lost faith.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is a guy who lied about a family emergency so he could audition for this role. And in fact, I think even the gay rascal in the chat was, why would you audition for the part in the first place? Well, it's part of a lifetime, and it takes him out of a thing that he was typecast in. And you don't always want to be playing the sensitive guy at the end of the film that doesn't get an opportunity to bed the lady, which is kind of the roles that he was headed for, ultimately, and nobody wants to be always in the Hallmark movie. Sometimes you want to be the John McClane type. So, I mean, honestly, I think that's where a lot of this comes from. And you know what? Perfect timing. Wes is joining us. Hello, Wes.
Hey guys. Could you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're great. We're finishing up on this Batman thing. Have you heard any of it, or do you just want to play catch up for a few minutes?
Was this Battinson throwing a fit, temper tantrum, being difficult?
Yes.
Kind of, sort of. It's actually everything around it. It's from the Cosmic Book News, but you'll catch up. We'll let you listen in the background until you're up to speed. Can
I say one more thing about this?
Yes, absolutely. Please do.
Regardless of if the rumors are true, the shows his original article where he was talking about working out shows how much of an amateur he is. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that's like a wrestler, someone going into being told that they need to bulk up and be this and complaining about it. It's just you go into a role that is a physical role, and even if he underestimated what it was, the fact that he complained about it and openly said, "Oh, I don't care, I'm not going to," shows just how committed, quote unquote, he is to the role. Because you don't want to hear Christian Bale or whatever tweet, "Oh, I'm not going to work out for my role. I don't need to," because it's just no, sure, he had a hissy fit or whatever, but I mean, he did the part, and Pattinson and a lot of other actors who are coming out now and complaining about things that happen on their sets are just they're not serious about their work. They just want to do whatever they can get away with, and they don't want to be told.
Think about how much money they make from this. They make hundreds, especially the main actors. They make tons of money, and it's just do it. If you're gonna especially, I know just to us, to play a Batman or Superman or any of those characters would be a dream job for a lot of us geeks. And seeing them go, fuck it, I don't care. It's whoa. Are you crazy?
Aspect to it. And I'm glad that AFK Bard brought up Nolan's Batman, because he wasn't necessarily big. He wasn't a huge guy. Now, I like the Nolan trilogy in isolation, not connected to the rest of the Batman universe. I don't think it fits, but in isolation, he wasn't a big guy, but he was fit. You're talking about year one Batman. We're not talking about Batfleck, right? I mean, look at Michael Keaton. He wasn't a big guy. And he was able to pull off the part, which is kind of why I look at Pattinson and I'm like, okay, this could possibly be done. But I look at Batfleck, to be honest, and that's that. Even though he's an older, grizzled Batman, but he bulked up for that role. I really appreciate that. That's what I expect to see. Year one Batman, I don't expect to see that, but Batman has always been about the peak of human performance. Physical excellence, that's right. So year one Batman would be at the very least at Michael Keaton level of body, of body mass, and so that's like I said, that's the one thing that has me worried is him not caring about his
Bale always gets yoked, though, Steven. I mean, Bale, in fact, Bale, like most professional actors, will go through a weight gain, weight loss, muscle gain, muscle loss cycle, depending upon whatever role they have. Part of being an actor is being able to represent the character you're being hired to play. So, yeah, you're going to have to... Well, I mean, look at what... well, of course, he's completely nutbar, but Joaquin Phoenix did for the Joker and how emaciated he became after being, fairly bulked up for previous film roles. I mean, there are a lot of people that they'll subject their body to that type of stuff. I mean, we would not have Raging Bull, right? The film Raging Bull, if De Niro wasn't able to go through what he had to go through.
I just don't want Pattinson to step on screen and be Adam West.
Or not De Niro? Anyway.
I think that here's the thing. Even it is a dream job, and you should be taking it seriously. But even if it wasn't a dream job, regardless of any job you do, whether you're digging ditches or cooking pizzas, whatever job you have to take pride in that and do the best job you can. And so with these entitled Hollywood types, just make me want to puke my guts out.
Think about the movie 300. I had to do that workout in the Marine Corps. Like, they set us up to start doing that workout. Holy crap.
What is that like? Did you spray on your abs?
No.
No?
If only. No. That workout is hard.
Yep.
I think the best superhero actor, honestly, who showed a constant commitment, and I know it's small time, was the guy who played the Arrow over on the CW.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because he literally lived it. He was doing that salmon hop thing by himself with the poles. He was doing parkour. He put himself into his role, and that is what these actors need to do. I mean, if you are that committed, you need to do it. And I believed that his physique could do everything he did on that show.
Well, Christopher Reeve's Superman, right? He's not he's a 6 foot, he wasn't skinny. Right. He wasn't a huge guy. He pulled that off due to his acting chops, and people believe that was that's still my Superman. Nothing against Henry Cavill. I think he does a good representation. I just think he's had bad scripts. But so I believe it's possible for Pattinson to pull off the role if his head isn't firmly up his ass, Right.
Well, rectal cranial syndrome is rampant in Hollywood. That's why we're so pissed at these people.
That's true. Yeah. Why are all American superheroes now British? Well, because you take less money.
Oh wow,
that's probably true.
Yeah,
I think the value keeps going up. He's gonna be hella expensive to get. That dude's everywhere now, and they want him in everything.
Yeah, we're in the weirdest place when it comes to had we finished up with that article yet, guys, or do you feel like you were done? You don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, it continues to go on into Doomcock talking about the film being possibly delayed again. I mean, there was a little bit more information in here we could go over if you'd like.
Yeah, let's wrap it up just so we feel like we've completed something today. That would be great. So all right, let me see if I can get it back in front of me. Oh wait, it's not there anymore. There it is. No, I got it. I got it. There we go. Ta-da! All right.
The Batman filming may be delayed yet again. Doomcock goes on to offer that sources have filled him in that getting the Batman finished may be much harder than anyone thought, as the UK may shut things down again and is requiring even further stringent measures be taken on the set regarding COVID protocols, and involves limiting the hours, limiting the number of people on set, the mandate of wearing masks, and that if the protocols aren't followed, they could face fines and jail time. Doomcock now says that Reeves and the Batman are scouting for places to continue filming and may leave the UK. Hollywood writer and director Gary Tudecliffe confirms that the Batman Robert Pattinson rumors. All I've heard is that there were definitely tensions between Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson, that Pattinson is being quite difficult to work with. The person I spoke to, they almost suggest that the situation was that because I said, I hear you shut down due to COVID, and they said, it's not COVID that shut us down. Then I said, oh, it must be something else? Is it your lead actor? And they were like, maybe, and laughed. And then, of course, I heard from somebody else the rumor that Matt Reeves was visibly shocked at the size of Robert Pattinson and that he was worried that his stunt people were considerably larger than him. So then, obviously, I looked into it and other rumors, and I saw the kind that were circulating that there had been an issue about working out and bulking up and everything else. Tackliff did go on to explain that the actors causing the problems is nothing new, and said Robert Downey Jr. caused problems with the filming of Iron Man, as well as Wesley Snipes when filming Blade. But in regards to Robert Pattinson sticking around as Batman, they made a point of stating that if the box office is where they want to be, Pattinson will continue on as Batman. If Matt Reeves is having those nasty situations with Pattinson, it can make for a very ugly filmmaking. And the stuff I hear was that was the case, and Matt Reeves just wanted to get the thing finished and done and get it out there. Oh, I didn't realize Gary had said all that. So that lends more. I think that lends a lot more credibility to these rumors.
It says actually that he wants to get out of there afterwards, not it out. Which I think is very important because, like, I think the studio would be willing, obviously, to just keep the face and the name and just push this guy Reeves out and just get someone else. Because honestly, at the end of the day, you can replace, the directors and producers or whatever else you want, as long as you got your prized possession, So I kind of hope, just for the sake, if it's a great movie, it's a great movie. But like, if he is not this committed to it, I don't want him to be around again. Like, I want it to be a one-off.
Right. I mean, that's why I like about Ben Affleck, is that he was really involved in the role. He was a Batman fan. He was a comic book fan. Like, he was excited about doing those parts. It's the scripts, in my opinion, were the things that killed that kind of killed that universe.
Right.
But I would much rather have someone like Ben Affleck playing that role, someone who really loves the character. I don't want a half-assed, lame, twinkling, sparkling dude, want to work out playing this role.
Think of like Deadpool, how Ryan Reynolds loved that. He fought tooth and nail to get that. That movie was so great because you have people who want to play that part. If we could get someone like that for the Batman, if we could get like a Batman Deadpool level movie, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
but
shows a lot of
shows
a lot of the dedication for him to get that Deadpool movie made. I mean, he was kind of skirting being too old to even play Deadpool, and he worked out like a madman. Was doing stuff behind the scenes to get the movie made. The release of the trailer.
He worked.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Cut into pieces, and still did it. Knockout job. And I still love Deadpool too. Not as good as the first one, but hey, if they're gonna make another one, I hope
they gave us Juggernaut. They actually gave us Juggernaut and Deadpool too. So I'm happy about that, because Juggernaut from the X-Men movie was not Juggernaut.
Well, here's the thing. We have a lot of people in the chat saying a lot of smart things. Deviant Porg says, in a more recent interview, other than the GQ one, I'm assuming. Yeah, he says that. He explained his routine training. So he has been training. He's trying to prove that the GQ one, as everyone saw the interview, he thought was all just jokes from him. So why do I feel like we never are getting we're getting a lot of spin from both sides? I mean, I don't know. But if you're a director and you want to run away from this screaming, I mean, that doesn't sound good to me. Right?
CultureCasino, I think that Hollywood is really tone deaf. Like, okay, if he was joking, could have been the case. At this point in time, at this juncture, with all of the rhetoric that we get from Hollywood actors and production companies, virtue signaling and being woke and attacking the customer if they don't like their creative direction or lack thereof, joking, it's the Star Trek Lower Decks effect. All right, Star Trek Lower Decks could be, it does reference a lot of former Star Trek material, pre-CBS All Access material, and could have been something good if we had gotten decent Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard. If the lores had been respected, if the customers weren't being attacked, if we weren't getting preached to by these actors, Lower Decks could have been a hit. Could have been like, yeah, let's check this out. But that joke was taken in a bad way, because so far, not only have we been getting jokes on screen, but we've also been getting preached to. So it's not the time for Lower Decks. I think that's the same thing for any kind of humor or play on words or whatever. if that is the truth, if that was Pattinson was doing in the GQ article. It's not the time, because everybody around you has been preaching about how wonderful and woke they are to the unwashed masses of the working class, and we're not taking jokes right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, even like I don't. This is damage control, and you can tell someone your workout routine. It doesn't mean you're doing it every day. Like I could be like, my doctor told me I need to eat this, this, and this. That's a great idea. And then I'm eating, pork chops and like chips and cookies at home. Like I just don't. It wasn't enough to convince me otherwise. Because GQ in general, like those are so more chill of like articles. Because those are like people, like sitting down and like. I don't know. It's just like it doesn't make sense to me, and I feel like the second article was just damage control. Because why else would he say it? Like legit.
Right. But see, what Bill's saying here is there's an Inside the Actor Studio interview that I've seen, by the way, with Russell Crowe, and it's all about his commitment to the role. And again, I mean, I'm reiterating this. We just talked about it, but he's not committed to this role. If you don't come in shape, if you don't look completely yoked, that's not, and I understand. I mean, people are like, well, why do superheroes have to be buff? Well, in the case of Batman, he's not a superhero. He needs every advantage he can get, not just his wits and his utility belt and all the other things that he has. He needs to be physically strong and capable. And I don't know if I ever felt that way. And Louvrien, I think, is right. I think she nails it. Louvrien Imakara. Nolan's Batman had a presence on the screen. Pattinson didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, he looks like a dude who jumps out of the sky and pummels the crap out of people, which he's supposed to do, and he moves on. Like, I know people will argue, oh, they're comic book movies, blah, 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 blah. But the thing about Batman is, like, out of all of the ones that I've read and seen, his was the most, like, realistic, kind of, like, in the fact that, like, people got the crap beaten out of them. Like, got paralyzed, put in wheelchairs, and all this kind of stuff. And there is a sense of realism because it adds a sense of, dire need or like, and Batman isn't Batman if there aren't stakes on the table. If you don't, feel like someone, I don't know, like the second you take away that, it loses its magic, I guess. And you can give even, I don't know. I would complain about Superman too, because again, that's like an earthly guy, an unearthly guy. But I don't know. I'm going to ramble. But basically, Batman needs to be Batman, the guy who roams the streets at night, makes people pay. He's not a superhero. He's the vigilante. Like a lot of people compare him to Superman. I was like, no, he's the complete opposite of Superman. He knows he's a horrible person. He doesn't pretend to be a good person. He goes out there and does all this stuff. So, I don't know. I can't imagine Pattinson doing it. But you know what? I don't know. If he bulks up and stuff, hey, cool, good for him. But I'm like 100% sure he's not going to.
Well, Bill brings up a good point. Matt Damon permanently damaged his heart from losing weight for a role. And there are actors that have done that. Look. There are physical body types, and I know that this is hard for people to understand because of science. But a mesomorph body type, not everybody has. Not everybody's going to have the ability to carry the weight like a Chris Hemsworth or someone else. So maybe those roles aren't for you. We can't all be giant people. I wasn't born a giant people. If I was born a giant people, I would have played basketball professionally, right? So it's just it's those kinds of things that unfortunately science can't fix right now. So certain roles may not be for you. Certain parts may not be for you. You may want to play that part. You may see yourself in that part. You may not represent that part. So that's just right. The sad science of life, guys. So hopefully my voice is better. I keep rebooting my sound system. So
yeah, you sound better.
Okay, all right. And I want to say this before we move along, even though it's off subject, but Latino Slant, thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate it. Latino Slant got taken down by CBS yesterday during one of his streams. I know. Welcome to the club. Ask Wes about that.
CBS, huh? Wow.
Well, let's just mock them for having their own stuff get knocked down by YouTube. Ha ha, CBS sucks.
Oh, I saw that too. They burned just like they did in the previous Comic-Con. That one of the New York panels, they took themselves down again, just like yesterday or something. That was hysterical.
That's slow clap.
Here's the thing: we're doing really good coverage of stuff for them. Maybe it's not all good news, right? But some of the stuff we're hyped about. I mean, DC Fandom, if you wouldn't have been such jerk faces sometimes, you would have had way more positive than you had negative. And yet you did some really dumb things. So at least Warner Brothers did a better job. So, but we're going to talk about something else because this reminded me that this deal was coming together. This is supposedly possibly a 6-film deal for and a record at that for our friend Ryan Reynolds. Go ahead there, Stephen.
All right. Marvel rumoredly interested in signing MCU's biggest deal yet with Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool creator reacts. Right. Dude, I'm excited to hear about this. Over the past year, numerous rumors have surfaced on social media claiming that Marvel Studios plan for Deadpool in the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4. While some reports have claimed that Ryan Reynolds essayed Marvel character E-Hop into the universe on Spider-Man's shoulder, another rumor now has that the Merc with a Mouth would join Thor and Thor Love and Thunder. A new rumor claims that Kevin Feige intends signing a deal with Reynolds and his team as the biggest deal in the history of the MCU. I'll wait to the end. The scoop was shared by trusted Marvel insider Daniel RPK on his Patreon account. Rumor has the Marvel CCO is interested in wanting to sign with Reynolds. Direct.com reports that the term biggest could be presumed that Feige wants Reynolds to start in more MCU projects than any other actor in the history of the MCU. The report points out that MCU has already signed some big deals, including 9 movies deal with Samuel L. Jackson and Sebastian Stan. Sam Jackson, though? I mean, he's getting up there. The OG Adventures actors featured in lesser movies than the duo. Chris Evans has a 6-movie deal. Robert Downey Jr. joined the MCU with a 3-movie deal, Iron Man deal, and reinvigorated for multi-appearances. So far, RDJ has appeared in at least 9 MCU movies, excluding his possible appearance in Black Widow. If the deal is being dubbed as the biggest deal in MCU history in terms of movies, Reynolds would be committing to a minimum of 10 possible projects. Retweeting the report on Twitter, Deadpool creator Bob Layfield shared his thoughts. He said, "Look, all this means is that Feige finally came to his senses and caved, and he should have long ago. Hoping this is true. Ryan as Deadpool is a sure thing as an entertainment canvas, and that is increasingly fragile." Agreed to that. So, if I may, just for a moment, if they're going to bring Deadpool into Thor: Love and Thunder, and he is basically a character who breaks the fourth wall, this is the possibility for, I would think, humility. If they allow Ryan Reynolds into this universe as Deadpool, Deadpool could be the voice of fans within these very films. I think that might please a lot of people.
Because they laid Thor's down with the hammer. He's like, really?
When is the Love and Thunder out?
Do not have a release date here, but I can look it up while you guys are discussing.
I'll just say right now, I think it's a horrible idea. Just because it's Disney. No, I'm just saying, like, Disney loves to oversaturate. And the second it thinks it has something that's popular, it drives it into the ground. And Deadpool, no matter how Ryan Reynolds loves it, at the end of the day, if Disney likes it, and he signs a deal, it could just go horrible. It just go horrible.
AFK, the release date, February 2022.
Okay.
Make that 2 votes for horrible idea.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that one because, like, if it's that soon, how would they get him in there without? I mean, like, do they just assume everybody knows who he is? Because there would be no time for his own movie. There's really no way to, like, wiggle him in without making. I don't know. It just seems really weird if he would be there making fourth wall jokes and he's just fresh off the boat.
Need to, if they're going to do
it's
it,
like pineapple on pizza. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
If they do it and they give Ryan Reynolds full creative control, they go, "Hey, we're going to help fund it, but we know you love it. Here you go." And just give them the money to do it, I think it'd be great. But yeah, Disney likes it, especially after like 1 or 2 movies. Disney go like, "Yeah, everybody loves it. Now let's just."
Well,
But
look, Rowan brings up a good point. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mercer.
It's a Deadpool, Spider-Man, Wolverine
There was-
movie. Do it!
They announced that it will be R. That's what I heard. As far as the next.
Well,
Yeah, it has to be rated R. You need to have
it has to be.
Jackman, Wolverine. What's his name? Is Spider-Man? Not this new one, but the Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire and Ryan Reynolds together in one single movie would be god awesome. I think Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman just together would make hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes, Spidey Pool for the win. I want Spidey Pool.
right.
Well, it would be awesome. It has to be R. And I don't know that you could get, despite the fact that Hugh Jackman keeps himself in amazing shape, I'm not sure he could come back and do Logan again, X-Man, Wolverine.
With
but
that. You have him.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
And have Deadpool complained about it.
Well, okay. So if they bring him back, it would be amazing. But I saw this because I'd heard rumors that he was in line for a big deal, right? And I knew that Disney was trying to bring him in under their banner heads, and it makes sense to bring Deadpool in, because he did anyway. I mean, that's why he went out and got Fox. So, you have to start committing to making R-rated superhero films if you're going to do it. And you have to do it in a big way. It can't be like this, it's going to have to be like a Marvel Dark or whatever, you would end up calling it ultimately, but it has to happen. So we've had rumors of this stuff before on both sides, both DC and Marvel side, but none of it's ever really gone anywhere. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. So if they can make it work, it makes perfect sense to me. I just don't know. I do know that they're trying to sign him to a huge deal. So if this Marvel thing ends up being true, it's gonna blow my mind. I'm gonna be really pumped and excited about it. I'm always excited about this kind of thing. But it has to be R-rated. There's no way you can do a Deadpool. But he says bad things. I mean, he's a potty mouth.
Not just that.
Unlike
he does great. He gets lens blown off. You have to do the full Deadpool. Deadpool's my favorite.
Super raunchy jokes. Yeah,
Yes,
it has to be the whole thing.
Deadpool has always been my favorite comic book, anti-hero of everything. Deadpool is always mine. Like, that was my favorite thing, besides Spider-Man. So, when he did his Deadpool movie, I was so happy. God, it was a great movie. But yes.
Yes, sir. I was happy when that came out, man. That the trailer that he made that had been out on the internet for years, I thought was great, and I was so happy when he finally got the ability to do it, because that's what we want to see more of. If you're going to do a superhero character, if you can have that actor be someone who loves the character, who knows the character, who's going to put their best into it, whether or not some fans or most fans don't like the representation of the character, at least that actor put 100% into it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
Yeah, and I see, if you look at this, this is a good question. Does Disney have any studios that make R films? Kind of. Kind of. Not outright R, but kind of. They've always maintained at least one or two brands, miniature studios, whatever, done distribution for somebody that makes adult entertainment. Not
Fox
like
now?
adult films, but say again?
Doesn't Disney own Fox now?
Yes. Fox Studios now. They keep changing the names.
Studios or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not. That isn't really necessarily the problem, because Marvel technically released the other Deadpool films, which were R, so it would be fine. You know what I'm saying? So
just let them keep going. Just be like, hey, here's a bigger budget. Go ahead.
Gosh, Thanos v. Do an alternate universe film of Thanos v Deadpool R-rated. That'd be flipping awesome.
Dude,
I love that.
Do the comic. Deadpool kills all the Marvel heroes. Do it.
Slant is on his way out. Thanks for joining us, Latino Slant. Yeah, MCU's been lost for a while. I think you're going to see with Black Widow being released, into streaming. I don't think it's going to make it into theaters, kids. I just don't. I think Black Widow was never. It's not good. Morbius is good. Deadpool, yeah. Morbius, well, we'll see, guys. We'll see. I have no high anticipations for that. The actor from Netflix, yeah. Say again?
Yeah, instead of Captain Marvel, we should have gotten a Black Widow film.
Right.
Yeah. That would have been more respectful to, I believe, if they had sandwiched that film in between the last two the Avengers movies. But I mean, like Culture, I do agree with you. I think that even if the virus hadn't happened and everything was still business as usual and the movie had come out, it would have done fairly well. People like Scarlett Johansson, but it's a case of you already know where the character is going to end up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the only problem right there.
All right, so
dead, so
no, it is. You're right. I mean, it's just that. Look, we can say it 100 times. Black Widow came too late. Should have been a movie 5 or 6 years ago. This is just dumb. Tombstone Pictures is still around. Okay, then or Touchstone. Excuse me. Yeah. So, oops, sorry, I should have highlighted that. Yeah, I know they had those. I didn't know if they were still releasing films under Touchstone, but they can do that. DreamWorks Content 3, yeah. So, and they still own all those mastheads, so they could release it under just about anything, And of course, that's Pretty Woman was Touchstone. There were a lot of questionable films Disney released under Touchstone and Hollywood Pictures, so which are both of their. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I know everybody is kind of like up about like the whole Black Widow thing and how it's like come too late, which I agree, because honestly, she should have had her movie way before, because she's way cooler. But like, I kind of have like, I've been thinking too highly, I guess, of the writing. But like, I always just assumed that since they decided to squeeze her in, they're actually trying to set up more plot. Like, I don't know, because if you go look at the comics, they clone her in the Red Room, right? So if this is a prequel and they're establishing the Red Room and like showing what happened beforehand and all this kind of stuff as far as being an assassin, could it be that they're actually at the end of Black Widow going to show that she has been cloned and she will show up in future movies? Because like that's what I've been playing with for a little while now. Because it's like otherwise it just seems like this movie is completely out of place from all the other movies. Because at least those ones have through lines.
Well, it's definitely going to be used as a link into Phase 4. That's what I would do as a writer. I'm just I'm assuming that it's going to be another character that they're going to move forward with from this film.
Well,
like her sister or something.
Yeah, maybe, but then I mean, you have no attachment to that character. You have no backstory built up. They, while you're having the audience make an assumption to an attachment that you had from a previous character. It's just going to be weird.
It depends on how well the movie is done. Honestly, if it's a great movie and you fall in love with the character they're going to pole vault forward into Phase 4, then more power to them.
Right. You know what? This is a good point, and it's not necessarily in our subject, but we all know that I believe Wonder Woman isn't going to make it to slate at all. I think that'll end up on HBO Max, and especially since the projections for the film have been going down because of the big mouth of certain party members that were, decided they were going to do better. Yeah. So I think that we will see, or we could see Wonder Woman make it to streaming. HBO Max, something like that. And I think that, and I think I agree with Runner in that I'm more excited for Black Widow now than I am for Wonder Woman, but I was more excited for Wonder Woman. It's just the weirdest thing. I've been put in this topsy-turvy world that I didn't want to be in. It's like being in a really bad clothes dryer, not enjoying it a lot. So
I got an idea. Have privileged millionaires just shut up and play pretend for a living, and we'll give them money. And they don't get into politics, and they don't get into those issues, and they just stay to themselves, and they're allowed to have those opinions. But for God's sakes, when we're inundated with it, when there's an obvious bias surrounding all of these films, all of the actors, when they take something that shouldn't matter, right? When they take something that could be a passing reference to something, and they go, "Look, we did this for representation," and and you're evil if you don't like this. That just turns people off. Like you said. Wonder Woman 84. Everybody's looking forward to that film. Black Widow. Everybody was like, okay, it's past due, but I'll check it out. And now, like for culture, those anticipations have been reversed.
Yep.
That's the power of a big mouth.
It is. And Lorena makes a good point, and it actually is chatting in the chat with the culture boss right now. So, but I think WandaVision might be the most intriguing thing out of the MCU, and that's saying something odd. You know what I mean?
No,
So
I don't know. Lorena's
What I think happened was, you know how during the whole Marvel thing, everybody was like, "Look, Wonder Woman is a great movie. You need to make Captain Marvel like Wonder Woman. You give her flaws. You give her, she grows as a character. Wonder Woman was a great movie." And then of course they're like, "Here, now we're just gonna make it as woke as hell, so that the people are like who liked Wonder Woman won't like it, and they'll take that, whatever." I don't know. From the trailer, I don't even know what it's about anymore. It's like, "Hey, look, it's Wonder Woman, but she's wearing hot girl's outfit." What? And she jumps out on those wings and crap. I was like, "That's hot." What the? I know.
But there was some emblemology that would support that. There were a couple of comic books that would support that. But look, it's just weird. There's a lot of weird. I mean, I would like to see her invisible jet. Well, I mean, I'd like to not see her invisible. I'd like for her to have. Yeah, you have to be figure out what the
gymnastics. Yeah,
I'll say this.
It's very lexical.
Is hot, but she is never going to replace the Wonder Woman from the TV series.
Linda Carter? No.
Oh, God.
No, we've still got people drooling over that for
I remember that
decades and decades and decades. Yeah.
I know.
Day.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, I will, man. I'll space them all. I want to space every one of these crazy people that are making all of our entertainment crappy. But hey, that's why you have an open airlock policy, Tim. I appreciate that. Anyway, all right. Well, let's do the last article again, guys. This is not something I ever cover on my channel. I am not going to take a side politically on this. This is going to be weird, hard left turn. But it's an important story because Gina Carano brought it to everybody's attention today. Normally, I would have Steven doing the reading here, but I figure, since I'm the one that's going to be doing this, I'm going to be the one taking the heat. So it's going to be me. So here we go.
Gina Carano.
And by the way, nobody on the panel is prepared for this, and I'm glad Wes is back.
Do you want me to screen share anything for you?
No. I've got it. It's going to be a good time. Here comes the party. All right. So remember the WHO?
Oh, yes.
All right. They seemingly have decided to, if not outright, reverse course on certain things. They've elected to tell everybody that they're backflipping on this. So I'm going to read this story. There's an accompanying video, which I did capture, but I can't share with you right now because I didn't have time to make it happen. And I'll be happy to share it out to the other people on my panel here and people who ask. But I'm just going to read it. Coronavirus. WHO backflips on virus stance by condemning lockdowns. Lockdowns have been used to control the coronavirus around the world, plunging millions of lives into chaos. Now the WHO has changed its mind. Now, mind you, this is an interview between two fairly educated human beings, right? So the World Health Organization has backflipped on its original COVID-19 stance after calling the world leaders to stop locking down their countries and economies. Dr. David Nabarro, from the WHO, appealed to world leaders yesterday, telling them to stop using lockdowns as your primary control method of the coronavirus. He also claimed that the only things the lockdowns have achieved was poverty, with no mention of potential lives saved. Lockdowns have just one consequence that you must never belittle, and that is making poor people an awful lot poorer. So, and there are several other articles that this is linked to. This is Dr. Nabarro here. He's one of the excerpts from the full interview. You can watch the full interview on this particular website here, news.com.au. I imagine the Kiwis and our Aussie friends are going absolutely bananas right now. But we in the World Health Organization do not advocate lockdowns as the primary means of control of the virus, Dr. Nabarro told The Spectator. The The only time we believe a lockdown is justified is to buy the time you need to reorganize, regroup, rebalance your resources, protect your health workers from exhaustion. But by and large, we'd rather not do it. Dr. Nabarro's main criticism of lockdowns involved the global impact, explaining how poorer economies that had been indirectly affected. Just look at what's happened to the tourism industry in the Caribbean, for example, or in the Pacific, because people aren't taking their holidays, he said. Look at what happened to the smallholder farmers all over the world. Look what's happening to poverty levels. It seems that we may well have a doubling of world poverty by next year. We may well have at least a doubling of child malnutrition. All things that we were conquering in this world, by the way. Melbourne's lockdown has been hailed as one of the strictest and longest in the world. In Spain's lockdown in March, people weren't allowed to leave the house unless it was to walk their pet. In China, authorities welded doors shut to stop people from leaving their homes. The WHO thinks these steps were largely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Instead, Dr. Nabarro is advocating for a new approach to containing the virus. And so we really do appeal to all world leaders to stop using lockdown as your primary control method. Develop better systems for doing it, work together, and learn from each other. His message is timely in a world, his message is timely in a world first. A number of health experts from all over the world came together calling for an end to coronavirus lockdowns earlier this week. Did any of you hear of that? No. I didn't hear of that. They created a petition called the Great Barrington Declaration, which said that lockdowns were doing irreparable damage. No kidding. As infectious disease epidemiologists and public health scientists, we have grave concerns about the damaging physical and mental health impacts of prevailing COVID-19 policies. Didn't we just have like Mental Health Day recently? And recommended an approach we call focused protection, read the petition. Current lockdown policies are producing devastating effects on short and long-term public health. The petition has had 12,000 signatures so far. It was authored by I can't say this name of University of Oxford. I have no prayer of saying that name either, of Stanford University, and Malton Kodoroff of Harvard University. Seems like fairly reputable folks, possibly. When asked about the petition, Dr. Nabarro had only good things to say. Really important points by Professor Gupta, I'm going to say, he said. So there it is. That's the crux of the article. The entire interview is available on this website that I highlighted. I will now stop talking and let my panel go bananas.
If I can actually just say one thing real quick. I've actually been using my Instagram account because I've been trying to use it to advertise and so forth and so on. And I was reached out to by someone that I believed was my ex-wife. And this account was my ex-wife's name spelled with one letter wrong, and like her entire business name in it and everything, and started talking to me, and then asked me if I'd heard of the WHO's program for assistance with helping people who are struggling because of the lockdowns. This was just yesterday before I even knew about this. So guys, look out. There are fake accounts out there apparently phishing for your information, claiming to be on behalf of the WHO.
Wow.
You know, I said this in day one. I was like, when they started locking everybody down, you know, I was like, you guys are nuts. How many more people are going to be way worse off, especially small business owners who can't afford this? Now they lost their jobs. How are they going to support their families? How are they going to buy food? Government doesn't have, you know, unlimited amount of money just to keep giving, well, massive, you know, harm. So,
yeah, I've got a friend.
I can understand if this virus was like the Black Plague, like you have bodies stacked in the streets. You know, they have to burn like giant hills of bodies. Then yes, but this is a bad flu.
So yeah, you know, what really, and I almost feel like I'm at the point now where I'm shrugging my shoulders, and of course they're doing this, but it's not just the WHO that really dropped the ball on these things, but the fact that you had YouTube and Twitter saying that you could only that you'd essentially be banned or punished for publishing things that are contrary to the WHO's recommendations, and all those people were right. And now the WHO is a Johnny-come-lately to this whole thing, at least publicly anyway. And it's a mess. It's ridiculous, and I think it's one more reason to not trust anything that the WHO says. And I think defunding them was a good move by President Trump.
I gotta say,
Okay.
it bugs me because there's this widespread belief on the side of the people who are like, oh no, you got to stay inside forever or whatever. Is like, if you listen to anybody else, or like it's a horrible thing, but at the same time, it's like I've told my sister, she's on the other side of this whole thing, is like the misinformation out there, or just like all of the information that is different, or like everybody has different things that they're sharing. It's like, it's different than quote unquote conspiracy theories, which she calls it, because it's just like, no, I mean, it's not straightforward. It's not just like, oh, you stay inside, therefore it's perfect everywhere and it'll fix everything. It's like, no, we have these, we have statistics, we, have people who have experienced this differently, and different countries have done different things. And it just frustrates me that it's just like we only are allowed to listen to one single narrative because it's the right one, and no one else has any right to say anything. It's just like, I'm not saying one way or another, what I feel about the coup in general. It's just like there always needs to be more than one narrative, because I don't follow blindly. I'm not a sheep. And if someone is just like, oh, this is the only place to get this information, I'm immediately going to question it, because it's it's just so ridiculous.
The biggest problem I have is being used as a political weapon. This should not have anything to do with politics at all, but it is.
Yeah.
And you could see it in the computers, and the people fucking in Washington are like, if you want this, your relief bill, you have to give us this, this, and that. It's like, no, how about you shut the fuck up, help the people, let them go to work, or walk away. Let's do
it this way. Like I said, I don't do politics on my channel. Everybody knows that, right? What I do is I try to track down everything that I think is good information to provide everybody, right? This particular thing, I believe, is good information. I think it's information you don't have from another source yet. I think it's information that we're not being given on a daily basis, and so I'm just trying to circumvent all of the filters that come at us, right? But these are things we haven't heard from voices that are reputable, and even despite what you may think of the organization that this is from, which again, never been a huge fan of large non-GOs, NGOs. Having the budgets that these larger ones do, or the resources, or the influence, whatever. I think NGOs need to not have any political influence, but that's an entirely side issue. I just think it's important that we all know, as citizens of the world, or even of just the United States and the other countries that we are, allowed to be in, like, through means of YouTube or social media or anything else. I think everybody just needs to know there are other reputable people out there that have now banded together and are turning the boat around on an organization that was saying something entirely different 6 months ago. Anyway, go ahead.
This final point is a lot of this also the media. This is because the media was hurting. If you think about before this whole panic happened, their viewers were going, and now they're up here because fear.
So now that
fear, and so they can just keep, if you don't stay home, you're gonna murder people's grandmas. You're gonna murder.
Yeah.
It's constant, non-stop fear porn, fucking, and it's their way of trying to get more and more views and trying to keep their And it's
so assuming WHO is changing their tune here. What about all the people that got banned or suspended for giving information contrary to what WHO was saying previously about lockdowns? Are those people going to have their accounts reinstated now that the tune seems to be changing? I mean, it's a mess.
Good point, Wes. A lot of people have been affected, unable to speak on this subject. Go ahead. Sorry, Culture.
No, please finish. I have a tendency to cut people off. Please go.
No, a lot of people have had their social media platforms struck or silenced or so forth because no one was allowed to talk about this. If you remember when all this started, if you had it in the title of your description, if you talked about it inside your video, they would always put the CDC right there under it or the WHO right underneath of it. And so now that they've changed their tune to one of common sense, in my opinion, I mean, is there going to be a reversal effect to the people that have lost their social media accounts or platforms because they were saying this the entire time? These lockdowns should be done in areas when relief to your local hospital or emergency physician, emergency response teams is needed, or to the people that are most affected by this, who can die while having COVID. That's what we should have been doing after about the second month, in my opinion. Once we understood the rhythm of what was going on, or the effects, or who was susceptible to it. But we haven't had that. A lot of people have lost their jobs, lost their homes, lost everything, their entire businesses. Because of
that's another thing is now that this is out, are these certain governors going to give up their power and reopen everything, allow people to go back to work?
Well, not give up their power.
Are they going to keep people closed and businesses closed? Because I think there needs to be a massive backlash to these governors who are like, especially California, New York, like Gary, whose wife lost her business because of this crap. They need to take responsibility for this and try to fix it. That's what I think. These local governments need to.
And that's on the side of doing the moral right thing. And I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But to me, the most important thing is the more this information gets out there. And again, this was brought to my attention by Gina Carano, of all people. It was just one of the things she passed along in Twitter. It is one of those things that if you just simply followed her, you would have gotten this tiny little news blast that would have helped make you more informed because you would have had access to more information. And that's all I really wanted to do today. Again, not political. I'm not political. You guys obviously are talking about the political stuff and the ramifications and all of that. I'm talking about the human factor and the stuff that's important to me, which is everybody that's out there, whether they agree with me or not. So we've got to wrap it up because we've got people that have other obligations, and I need everybody to get where they need to go today on time. I'm going to go ahead and bring my friend Wes up first because he's on screen. I see him. Look at him. There's Wes. Hi, Wes. He's in a car. So we're going to get the car exit for Wes right now. Go, car. Go, go, go.
Car video. Car video. Hello, my friends. I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast. You can find me at youtube.com/Wes Moody Webcast. I talk about current events, pop culture, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, gaming streams, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it is my webcast. Hope to see you there. Thank you, my friends. See ya.
Thank you, Wes. Let's slide over. We're going to let AFK go because she didn't get to talk enough, and she's got a great channel and doing fun stuff. So there is AFK Bard. AFK.
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me on here again. If you like Stranger Things reviews, come check it out Tuesdays at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every other Tuesday. And I also read books Sunday, Friday nights at let's see what time, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yeah. Currently, I'm reading Night Shift by Charlene Harris. It's the third book of her trilogy. Sorry. So there you go.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I like being read to. It helps me sleep. And of course, our friend, the Mirrorsphere Origin. Hello,
everyone. Hello. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully, if you haven't subscribed, I'm doing a special thing. If I hit 100 subscribers by the end of this month, or before the end of this month, I will be doing a little showing of some of the demons that will be in my book. Also, be reading off a section, like a not a whole chapter, but some little fear, some part of my book has a lot of like suspense, fear in it, as a part of because of October, Halloween. Other than that, I do have a couple more videos coming out this week. Other than that, please come check me out. I'm just on my smartphone most of the time, but hey, as I grow, and hopefully soon I'll have my office done, hopefully by the end of this month, I'm hoping, and I'll get a bigger computer and all that stuff, so getting everything set up, and I'll hopefully have a big studio for all of you guys. But thank you all for coming, and keep being awesome. You're the best chat ever, the greatest fandom of all time, and I can't wait to see you all later.
All right, thanks a lot. And then last but not least, we have our proselytizer. Go for it, Steven.
Hey guys, thank you for being here so much. Thank you to Culture Casino for hosting us. Please subscribe to everybody on this wonderful panel. Got a lot of great live streams lined up for today. Just after this one, if you are interested in independent creators, novels, science fiction, comic books, I'm having a live stream, the TFMCG live stream over on my channel. Going to have Fatal J, Kai MFS, Mike Murphy, Vinny Tartamella, Carton Ortonelli, a lot of great people coming over to talk about their books. And if you are not interested in independent creators, then you can go check out some of the other great streams that are happening, held by, I know Lorena's got one later on. She's got her Florida live stream. And so thank you for supporting us, man. Look, thank you guys so much. We don't have an industry to support us, so we appreciate you. And if you could just choose one or two of your favorite YouTubers and share out their links and make sure you comment on their videos, that would really mean a lot to them. We rise together, all of us. All of our voices are important. And if you have a voice of your own and you want it spoken out, then create a YouTube channel, draw, write, do it is what you do. We've got an entire community of people here that all support each other. You just find yourself a lunch table with a bunch of friends and you just get to work. Thank you very much. I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian, born in the chats of the High Council with my brothers and sisters fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other. Peace.
Why, thank you very much, Steve. And that's why I always end with him. I think that's why everybody always ends with him. We end on such a high note. I just want to say thank you. You guys are great. Everybody out there in the chat, I know we've already started to shed folks, but I really appreciate your time today. I hope we were able to inform and entertain you at least a little bit in your day, and that's kind of our goal here. It's also a lot of fun for us, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and close with the book for, the commercial for Steven's book, Volume 2, which is coming out here soon. He'll tell you more about it here on his upcoming live stream. And then I'll close it with our final banner segment for the day. But thank you all very much for being here. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Couldn't be here without you. Have a great day wherever you are. And until next time.
Thank you all.
Bye.
The main thing is to protect these characters. Make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them. And that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
By 2018, far-left extremists in Hollywood had been perverting long-established, profitable science fiction properties as platforms to espouse divisive social propaganda. The vision of these creatives was to repurpose established franchises in the hopes of indoctrinating viewers into the bigoted groupthink of the American far-left ideology. Insanely wealthy producers and adult pretenders set to shame any fan who would not capitulate to their false narratives of virtue, using long-established weight in the legacy media to drive online hate mobs to attack any who dared speak against the woke narrative. Yet there were those who would not kneel before this oligarchy of money, media, and extremism. Those who had known the truth. Fandom is for everyone. The Fandom Menace Volume 2 covers the events of the year 2018 as a group of independent creators rose up together, inspiring the Star Wars fandom to speak out against the flagrant misuse of a property that was not meant to inspire division, but hope. Volume 2 will cover the voices who spoke out against cancel culture, such as the Gospel According to Mark with a C.
Thank God for Star Wars fans. If only Ryan Johnson had said the same thing.
Mecha Random 42.
Star Trek, to me, is a hopeful, optimistic view of the future.
With chapters written by Stephanie Janicek, Smuggler's Cantina.
They're not answering any questions that the real fans want to know.
Jesse Milestone of Mindless
I'm
Entertainment.
warn you right now, this here thing you're about to watch is probably going to involve a lot of yelling and a decent amount of swearing.
Itchy Baka of Disney Star Wars is done.
But this doesn't explain why, after Disney's acquisition of Star Wars, George would attend the premieres of The Force Awakens, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, and Solo.
And the Overlord himself, Dictor Van Doomcock.
Greetings, my friends. Our pop culture is under assault by corporations who would rather destroy our cultural heritage than build respectfully upon it.
This is an historical documentation of a group of people in the late 2000 teens who would not bow to the very worst in humanity, seeking to separate us along political lines while using our beloved modern mythologies to do so. They did not kneel. Will you? The Fandom Menace Volume 2, Rise of the Rebellion.